not since The Defiant Ones have two people been chained together for so long on film. And I wanted to know how horribly difficult that was, and how did you do it? You know, what was the mechanics of it, just as actors bonded together?
I'll start and then you take over, and then just punch me around.
Okay, yeah.
It was like a dance. It was really easy, actually, because Kurt's a great dance partner, and I just followed his lead, and he throws a great punch.
There's a lot more to that, really, and she's not kidding. We did have to do a dance we started that 5 months earlier. We didn't really consider the chain to be that big a deal until we started rehearsing, and all of a sudden it was an enormous deal. It's not hard to get all tangled up and whatnot, but there was a relationship that was going to take place here that one thing had to occur, and that was the trust that I had to earn from her so that she could do what she wanted to do, so that I could do what I wanted to do, and she would know that she was never going to be hurt. And I've done a lot of movies with a lot of actors where you try to get that trust, and it's very hard to do. She very quickly got there, and that put a lot of pressure on me, because once you get that trust, if you ever violate it, you never get it back, ever.
So we're literally talking about throwing a punch.
I can say that this stuff sounds simple, but she had a whole role to create. She created a character that nobody's seen, as far as I know. I've never seen this character before. And I just have to say that just to be a part of that, the only thing I could do was do my part in that, which is to make her feel comfortable, so that anything we did together, she could do what she needed to do. Now, when you're afraid, when you say, okay, that's the next thing I hear the saying, and then here comes the hit. If that's what you're thinking, here comes the big, get ready for that hit here, which I've done a lot of times with actors. Here comes that line here. I'm speaking, I'm doing my lines, but what I'm really doing is, here comes that swing, and I'm going to have to take this hit because I don't trust this guy. He's going to hit me. If she was feeling that way, she couldn't do what she needed to do. I wouldn't be able to do what I wanted to do, and we couldn't do the dance the way we wanted to do the dance.
Yeah, I actually could completely forget it was even coming every time, because I knew he would never come close to hitting me.
Have you ever had to do that kind of role where you were being hit like this?
I've done plays where I've gotten hit every night and like had my, jaw have to be iced before curtain call, and an actor I loved, and every night I've been thrown around and tossed around, and someone can be a great friend and a great person and still not be great at that, It's just in the heat of the moment and the excitement of the moment, people can forget and get really involved in their character. I've done a lot of movies and there's been violence in them, and sometimes it does get scary, and not for a second. I was in such good hands. Honestly, I would do any slugfest movie with Kurt Russell anytime.
I'm very proud of that.
I am so happy. Honestly, the stuff he had to do to me in this movie, and I could just play it moment to moment. I had never a fear. And also, there were things going on behind the camera I didn't even know about where he was protecting me. I felt like he was protecting me. So it really did become that thing when people are, what's this condition called? The
Stockholm Syndrome.
Stockholm Syndrome, yeah.
What struck me was that even though you said terrible things about Daisy Domergue, John did, there appeared to be a kind of odd affection,
right?
As if he was proud of you for being such a badass.
Absolutely. I think that the fun thing here was that from our different points of view, I had John Ruth to do, she had Daisy Domergue to do, but we both had Ruth and Domergue, the sort of honeymooners, as it were, to do together. That's a separate and a singular entity in and of itself.
Yeah, we always thought of it as a marriage, like not a great marriage, but one that kind of works. It works.
But it's a marriage.
Yeah, and had they met under different circumstances? Who knows where it might have led, because they're kind of perfectly suited for one another. She doesn't take any of his bullshit. He doesn't take any of her shit, and yet, I mean, they remain together.
They share laughs.
They share laughs. They really do.
He respects her.
He does. He actually
and
does.
He's afraid of her.
He's probably that's very true.
And he's probably
That was
attracted
true.
to her.
Probably the only person, seriously, the only person you could say John Ruth had any fear of. Certainly would be her. He's afraid of her all the time. That's like being chained to a hyena. I mean, that thing's going to get you. And when you sense that it's smarter than you, and all you're trying to do
we had to do is play tic-tac-toe.
This is true. This is so true. It's so true. Well, I'll let you tell it.
We had the scene where we were just in the bar in the background, really. And, what are you going to do? We're in Minnie's haberdashery we think we're going to be there for days. We've been there for a couple hours. So we started playing tic-tac-toe with peanuts. And I pretty much won every game.
No, she didn't pretty much win every game. She won every game. I don't know how you lose a tic-tac-toe. I've played tic-tac-toe. I've never played at that level.
Not at that level.
I never played a professional tic-tac-toe player.
You can actually
which
hear him
clearly
say
must be.
in the background, God damn it.
Damn it. I'm telling you, I know this much, that at one point, the score was 23-3. I'd won 3 games, which I felt very proud of. But I get my ass kicked by her and we really did say, this is fitting.
Is she the smartest of the Hateful Eight?
Oh, that's a really good question. I saw a quote recently where Sam said he was surprised to find that he was the smartest of the Hateful Eight. I was surprised to see him say that because I thought it was pretty clear that Daisy was, but it's who's the tallest midget in the room because they all
And they're all hateful.
I can't say what they all.
They're all hateful.
They're all hateful. Yeah, they're all hateful. You got to be careful of what I say here because I made that mistake of giving away completely everything.
I might have to edit that.
Yeah.
Because if you're going to go with the last man standing theory, it's pretty much a draw all the way around the room, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
It looks.
It's not giving anything away to say Daisy gets away free and clear and is the only survivor. That's not.
Yeah, well, you
anything
sing
away.
that in your songs. I wouldn't take that away.
Now she gets beat. We talked about this. She gets beat up a lot. My take on her is that I respect her for standing up to it like a man would. But there are people who have trouble with a woman getting hit like that.
Well, sure. I mean, I always thought of Daisy as one of the guys, and I felt like one of the guys on the shoot, even though I knew I was being. Nobody ever changed their stories around me. Nobody ever cleaned up their vocabulary around me. I really was like a fly on the wall or like one of the guys, and yet I did feel protected and loved, And Daisy is tough. If there's a flower in the group, it's Mannix, Walton Goggins. It ain't Daisy.
Yeah,
right?
absolutely. Yeah. I mean,
you just
look,
see him try to touch a gun.
you got. Look, Jennifer. All the guys. We never really thought of Jennifer. We didn't look at life and say, hey, come on, Jennifer's a girl. I don't think anybody in that crowd looks at life that way. He hasn't got that bunch of guys together. So we just look at Jennifer as Jennifer. Jennifer looked at us as us. Okay, we did finally realize after a while how much physical abuse Jennifer was taking every day. Every day. Once you're bloodied in a movie, I know when I read a screenplay, if I could find the way, let's see, how are we gonna? I don't want this on for a month. I don't want.
It's about the makeup.
It's about the makeup, and it becomes oppressive, really oppressive. You can't go.
It has to match.
You can't. Well, you're sticky. You can't eat. You can't take a nap. You can't do it. You're just stuck there all day. Every one of these guys in this movie, we all talked about it. We've all been there 1,000 times and said, you try to do the best you can. And every time, at some point, you kind of say, hey man, can we, I don't mean to be this person, but can we shoot me out so I can get this stuff off? Can we do that? That's a complaint, but it's a totally legit one. We all were stunned because never once did Jennifer complain. Never once did she say, boo, or, oh really, I gotta do that? Nothing. And at one point, I'm gonna vomit in her face, blood, and while she's laughing at me, so her mouth's gonna be open. That becomes an issue. See, that's the stuff that we would talk about.
That's difficult.
Where I would say, okay, we don't want to wreck it, but I don't want to, I can't do that. So we have to figure out how to physically do that. That's seamless in the movie. You don't see any kind of buddy taking care of anybody there, but it's done. and we worked those things out. But she never. You talk about being one of the guys. I mean, I think the guys would like to be, as tough as Jennifer was, and just say, yeah, that's what we're going to do today. So let's do it again. Let's do it again. Let's do it again. 5 months of let's do it again. 3 months of, being in it, and then the last month of your shooting was, talk about abuse. I mean, it was tough as it gets, and we were impressed, man. We were really impressed, and she pulled it off. But more than that, she created a character that is. I've just never seen that.
Tarantino, what was challenging, different about Tarantino from when you worked with him before?
Well, this was a very different movie, a very different experience for me. It was a very different movie because these actors in this movie, were doing something that was so different from what we were doing, from what all of us were doing in Death Proof. It was a whole different style, a whole different thing. And I was just really happy to get the opportunity to do that, to do this style.
More dialogue.
It's just different.
More theatrical.
More theatrical. It's fair to say.
Bigger.
I think that I just think his screenplay is better. I think this is a much better screenplay. The actors were at a caliber and a level that is to me was the best I've ever worked with. So I was just proud to be a part of it, and proud to be tossed the baton and give the baton back. And whenever you gave the baton back, you didn't want to run and go, did my shit, I'm out of here, I'm good. I mean, no, you were like, all right, I think I did that good. Here you go. All right, it's your turn. We're all there for you. Everybody on this was there for everybody every time. I think that's honestly the truth, don't you? I mean, I don't think. And if anybody didn't start out that way, they ended up that way.
Yeah, it was incredible. I mean, it really was. It was a shoot that you just wanted. You wanted to be on that set. You wanted to be a part of that group. We all still are in communication pretty much
daily.
Yeah.
Did you find out that Quentin always wanted to work with you at a certain point?
We kind of recently, we had talked about it like a little bit over the years, but it never happened. And then recently I was at a screening where he talked about it in a Q&A, and that was really nice for me because I wanted to work with him forever. So yeah.
How cool was it that you got to play this part in your first
oh my God, it really is like
that's a pretty cool thing, right?
It's incredible.
I mean, you didn't have to play the girl in the bikini who gets shot in the first.
Well, it must have felt good to play this role.
Oh my God, it's such a great role. I mean, it's one of the best roles I've ever had in my life, and one of the most profound experiences I've ever had in my life. So to have that now is really something I feel so incredibly grateful for, and I just don't want it to stop. It's like actors hate doing press junkets, but this is a chance for us all to be together again, so it has a different feeling. And also we all love the movie so much, and we all love Quentin and each other so much that it's really a joy to talk about it, truly.
All right, I'm gonna stop.